The following broadcast is a presentation of iRacing Motorsport and Simulations live on PTR TV. We'd like to thank all of our partners for their support.
He may get the run on the outside off of the back straightaway. 26 and Hallmark trying to go 3 wide. No one's going to let them.
Talking and bobbing and weaving down the back straightaway, looking for a way around. The 5 machine trying to take a look underneath the 3 car. He's going to dive it in down to the bottom. A huge move down to the bottom of the racetrack.
Back bumper. Can anything happen through the tri-oval? Walker Thomas to the inside. Here he comes to the outside. Side by side through the tri-oval. The 14. It's going to be a photo finish to the line. Who's going to get it?
Walker Thomas. Machine coming out of turn number 4. Tiller looking to go 3 wide, almost 4 wide. He's going to try to look for a gap. Bobbing and weaving for the lead down through the tri.
Photo finish.
2 by 2. The 65 gets the win.
The car behind me is my Chili Bowl midget, the one that I won the Chili Bowl with. And what's interesting about that is it's actually the car that iRacing scanned that's going to be available to all the iRacing members out there.
Welcome race fans back to Primetime Racing TV and tonight's coverage of the Midwest POWERSOURCE Cup Series for the Hardline Racing League live at the Rockingham Speedway for the Rockingham 135 presented by Krutz Custom Graphics. Right here with tonight's action is myself in the booth, Corey Silva, along with my buddy Evan Black, of course, bringing you 135 laps of action here at Rockingham. Evan, it's an old track. It's a track that's kind of defunct in real life, but we're running the historical version of it here on iRacing in a very difficult machine. So what are we looking forward to tonight?
Well, this track is a lot of fun to run. It's a track you usually don't see in iRacing because of, like you said, Corey, it's not really used anymore. I have never driven a cup car around this track, so I really don't know what to expect other than you are not going to want to get off that yellow line.
Yeah, this is a track. It is 1.017 miles around this track here in Rockingham, North Carolina. Different banking on each end of the speedway. A little bit more in 3 and 4 than in 1 and 2. And there's a little bit different corner angles, a little bit different corner exits. So it is quite the challenge, and let alone all the bumps that we have as well.
Yeah, qualifying currently underway. Group qualifying now in the Hardline Racing League for this season. Briar LaPrade currently on top of the charts. Bronson Stafford in second. Still about 2.5 minutes left in qualifying.
Now these drivers will have multiple attempts, obviously, with the group qualifying to best their times at any expense possible. Very close times up front. Top 3 all within half of a tenth. LaPrade's still hanging on by 2/100ths of a second, but 2 minutes left, as you said, for somebody to try to take that time away.
And LaPrade, he's still just sitting in pit road. He doesn't think, I'm guessing he doesn't think he can do any better than that, or doesn't think he will need to do any better than that. But now, after 3 minutes, the track's going to be getting quite a bit hotter. I don't know if anyone will be able to beat that time.
Yeah, P2 Bronson Stafford on the track was not able to do any better than he was, but right now Here comes the 22 Justin Munsell in the third spot. What will he do at the line? He will have no improvement.
Yeah, he was just starting his lap,
Oh.
so we'll see here. He's out of 2.
This will be the verdict as he comes through turns number 3 and 4. Follow him through the roller coaster that is turns 3 and 4, but he gets really loose all the way down to the apron on the front straightaway and
Runs the exact same time, I think.
yeah, 23.073.
Or he picked up a little bit. He picked up about 200ths. Not enough to improve position.
And want to, for anybody that was watching us last night in our coverage of rivalry racing, do want to apologize for that. There was an update with the overlay system that we use, and it caused a little bit of a crash. And I know Evan Black had a little fun trying to solo commentate while I was behind the scenes fixing the problem, but the problem was fixed by the software creator, as well as a little help from XSpeed TV, so I want to thank them for that. So we will have uninterrupted coverage of tonight's race for you guys. Yeah, that was fun. Well, that was fun last night, wasn't it, Evan?
No, not quite.
Yeah, solo commentating is not an easy experience, but luckily that is not going to be the case today. But coming with the final seconds of the qualifying session, and it doesn't look like the times will change up at the top of the grid, so we will be able to give to you in a matter of moments the PTR TV starting lineup as the session does change over. Again, 135 laps of action tonight at Rockingham. Should take us a little bit more than an hour and a half of race time, so prepare yourselves for a night of racing here. Get what you need, get some refreshments, get some snacks. Should be a good night here for the Hardline racing guys. About 19 drivers expected to be on the grid tonight, and that is the changeover here today. So without further ado, we will bring to you the PTR TV starting lineup here from the Rockingham Speedway. On the pole, Briar LaPrade with his lap time 23.047 seconds around this 1 mile speedway. Bronson Stafford on the outside of the front row. Justin Munsell in third. Shane Terrian, you've been saying that wrong, in the fourth spot. Ryan Hart's in fifth. Matthew Bell in sixth. Thomas Bressie in seventh. Jeff Wright rolling off in the eighth spot. And then Tyler Hensley and Casey Shue round out your top 10.
And Jacob Adams will be rolling off in 11th with Glenn Bowen on his outside. Robert Kinney in 13th. Simon Thorns to his outside. Brandon Krutz will be starting in 15th. And then the rest of the field, Chuck Sweeting, Randall Falks, Joshua Adams, and Cody Tabor rounding the field in 19th.
So that is your grid here tonight. Just a little bit of track facts from Rockingham. As we've mentioned today, a little bit over 1 mile racetrack today. Obviously 4 turns, be about 131 mile race. Weather conditions today, nothing out of the ordinary. 76 degrees in the air, about 87 on the track, about a 6 mile an hour wind. So I don't think that will throw these drivers off too much. And Evan, I think you can give us a little insight on the exact conditions that they will be racing under in terms of fuel load and such.
75% fuel load here tonight, so I would expect fuel window to probably be 45 laps or so, I would think. And no fast repairs here tonight at Rockingham.
Yeah, I'm going to take a stab. I think you're pretty close, Evan. I'm going to go with about 50 laps. Typically, I'd say on a mile track, they usually get about 80 laps to a tank, so I think 75 will split the difference there quite well, around 50. But do you think these drivers will want to stay out there for those whole 50 laps on time? Well, there you go.
I ran the Xfinity Cars here Wednesday night in the Hardline Contender Series, and after about 1 lap, you wanted tires.
Yeah, well, that about answers that question. So we will see if short pitting is indeed what these drivers will want to do. But it'll only be 1 pace lap here around this mile speedway. So Briar LaPrade will get them underway as they our underpacing conditions down the back straightaway. Again, thanks everyone for tuning in to PTR TV's coverage of the Hardline Racing Midwest Power Source Cup Series here tonight. 135 laps. Corey Silva and Evan Black giving you the calls tonight. iRacing.com pace car down the back straightaway here, half a lap away from the green flag.
Looks like the 95 of Matthew Bell has not gotten going yet from the front straightaway. So that may delay this green.
Yeah, he is still there on the grid. I cannot imagine them being able to take off.
He rolled off in 6th. Here we'll see if the lights come back on or not.
We are still going.
Matthew Bell was just removed from the server, so he is no longer going to be there.
Whoa.
And massive checkup, caution back out.
Yeah, that was a miscommunication on many parts there, I think, of whether the race was going to go green or not. So I saw Jeff Wright, I believe, had some serious contact into the back bumper of somebody.
Looks like Wright got into the back bumper of Tyrion in that 38.
On board.
Just everyone was so spread out coming to take the green.
On board with the 5. You can see here that was massive contact. I mean, the 38 got some rear end damage, but I think the worst end of the stick was on the 5. Heavy front end damage immediately to that number 5 Pepsi machine. So he's going to need to get that repaired because that will cost him some aerodynamic effects here and probably cost him some straightaway speed.
He's got some rear end damage as well. I think that's from when they were trying to get off the grid behind Matthew Bell. He got ran into from behind.
Yeah.
So now down to 18 cars here now.
Yeah, not really the start I was expecting here. Obviously, you don't expect anybody to miss the grid like that, and I think that may have thrown a little confusion and maybe a little games being thrown on the restart, perhaps trying to get runs, and all kind of adding together to equal a poor initial start. But we will get doubled up, stacked up, as our pal Brandon Krutz like to say, and ready to I'm going to say the initial restart, as I like to say in this situation, since we never really started, but it is still a restart. We'll call it the initial restart. Does that make any kind of sense?
Well, technically the first restart is always the initial restart.
Well, it can't be a restart if you never started the first time, eh?
But they did start, but they started for not very long. And Shane Terrian coming down pit road.
I think he might be getting some just damage repair there, because remember, he did have a pretty sizable amount of, well, actually not sizable, but
it's pretty good amount of damage.
And are the lights already out on the pace car? Or we still couldn't quite tell from the distance there.
Yes, they are.
And everybody is single file?
Yes. Now they're maybe starting to double up. You see Bronze and Stafford moving up to that second lane, but they are still all single file.
Not sure if maybe there was an admin call to start this race single file. We don't have that information. We're just gonna kind of assume that perhaps it was a manual call by league officials. Perhaps Evan can get some word on that in a second, but barring anything that we have not been told, we're expecting to go green flag racing here.
And now Stafford is starting to double up, and no one else behind him. There we go.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
Yeah, folks, we have as much idea of what's going on as you do right now, so we do apologize for that. But green flag is in the air, and very early on the loud pedal is the number 19 machine. And caution?
Yeah.
We are going to step away here and try to figure out what is going on. Or, that was not a delayed green, Evan. This is a full-blown second caution, am I correct? Evan has stepped down to try to get some clarification as to what is going on here, because again, folks, we have the same idea that you do right now. We are watching the same race from the booth perspective. We don't know what is going on behind the scenes, so really don't have an explanation. So hopefully in a second, Evan will be able to provide that, and there he is.
Well, no one knows what's going on, but it seems as that may have fixed itself as the pace car is down pit road, but the green is not out.
I really hope we are not in a glitch situation right now. The pace car is in the pit road
lane
right now.
Okay, the pace car has parked. Okay, but now the green's in the air.
Is it?
Yes.
I don't see it. Right now, I see Briar LaPrade up to full song right now, but at least...
From my end, they're under green.
Now I have a green flag, but it wasn't actually called out. Again, there is some very abnormal behavior going on right now, but apparently we are green flag racing. No, we're not. We are going to step away here and attempt to figure out what's going on and hopefully have a proper start for you in a moment. So stay with us, please.
Red Bull GRCs are now available on iRacing. I personally put my blood, sweat, and tears into this thing, developing the cars, the tracks, the dirt, making sure it is authentic as possible, and I really think you guys are going to love it. The best part is that this 600 horsepower Volkswagen Beetle is free to all members. So get signed up now and come race me online.
All right, we are back, and hopefully we'll be able to give you some actual racing this time by. We've kind of run 11 laps of almost like green flag, yellow flag type racing, but everything is said to be seeming to be correct right now. So Bronson Stafford, as he did stay out, LaPrade did pit along with a couple others at the tail end of the field, a lot of drivers at the tail end of the field. So Bronson Stafford will be your leader with Justin Munsell to the outside of the front row, and hopefully we'll actually get some racing in.
Yep, top 5 stayed out as the pace car coming out of turn number 4 now, getting ready to head down to pit road. And there it goes, and now waiting for Bronson Stafford, and there he goes. We are back I guess we are underway. We haven't really been underway before here at Rockingham, and Justin Munsell got a pretty good jump on that restart, but it looks like Stafford will clear down into turn 1.
That looks like we're finally underway here on lap number 12. Stafford with the advantage, but you saw the checkup in 1 and 2. Justin Munsell is in the 22, dives it to the bottom there, almost gets a run underneath the 61, but they are side by side for third.
Stafford got too high through 3 and 4. That allowed Munsell to get right back to his back bumper. Now down into turn 1. We'll see Stafford a little bit lower and now right on that yellow line. No, not quite. He's sliding up the track quite a bit. So now we got a battle for second. The 51 of Randall Falks underneath that 22 down into turn number 3.
You can see the 22 run in the middle there, and then the 51 trying to ride over the bumps there on the bottom, the shorter distance around the racetrack. He does get a good run and pulls door to door. We'll see who prevails in 1 and 2. 22 all the way up to the wall, nearly into it.
Yeah, that's going to allow the 51 to clear.
Here comes LaPrade underneath Jacob Adams in the 8. That's a dive pass on the inside to hopefully get the 19 into the 4th position. Tyler Hensley looking to fill the gap in.
51 of Randall Falks had a huge wiggle out of 4. Sorry to cut you off, Core, but I thought he was going to go around.
I also saw Ryan Hart's nearly in the fence there as well in the 3.
But we got a battle for the lead as the 51 of Randall Falks is all over that back bumper. That 61 down into turn 3. The 61 running a little bit higher. So it's going to allow the 51 to catch up right to his back bumper. And now fresh tires and that number 19 of LaPrade. Back there in third.
Yeah, we'll see how much time those tires actually are offering him. Remember, they weren't really under green for really any amount of time, but 51 really loose to the inside there on the back straightaway, it appeared. But it does look like Stafford has kind of gotten into a little bit more of a rhythm and is kind of maintaining for the moment, but not quite there off turn 4.
Yeah, the main thing right now is to just get into a rhythm and not get up off of that bottom, which he did just there. But it seems to be actually kind of working okay for him. He's kind of diamonding the corner. Justin Munsell really loose out of 4. Tyler Hensley looking to his outside now for the 4th position. Munsell sliding up, almost contact there through 3 and 4.
Yeah, all the way to the fence was the number 46 of Hensley, nearly into it, but does prevail. The 22 is to the inside, and the 26 of Sweeting nearly
taking the dive, 3 wide.
Could still see some side-by-side racing ladder in the field right now. Ryan Hart's to the inside of Shane Terrian, and then right in front of him is Jacob Adams in the 5 of Jeff Wright. Remember him on the opening start with that initial contact. Double file 2x2 entering 1 and 2. This is for 8th to 11th positions.
Randall Falks has a run for the lead down the back straightaway. Now down into turn number 3. 51 Randall Falks on the inside of that 61 of Bronson Stafford. 51 has the kind of preferred lane through 3 and 4. We'll see he's going to stay right at his quarter panel.
Yeah, not quite. The 61 is kind of showing the outside is a way to play some actual defense right now. Bogging the 51 down, not allowing him the runs off of the corner.
Oh, 51 really loose out of 2. 3 wide for the lead. Briar LaPrade going to the middle. 51 down on the apron. Still 3 wide for the lead.
Oh,
that's not going to work.
51 loops it.
Spins it down the front straightaway. Chuck Sweeting. Major contact in the front end of that 51.
That will bring out yet another caution there, as the 51 was kind of put in a really difficult position there, and obviously it didn't work out for him. We'll see from a different angle here.
Looks like he just got down on the apron entering the corner, and then that screwed him up all the way through it and out of 4.
3 wide, and they all just met in the middle there, and he got loose, as you said, and just he looked like he was going to save it down the track into the grass, but it ended up moving him into the track and then right into Chuck Sweeting. Try to see if we can get a view from Chuck Sweeting as really to see what he had no chance to avoid there. And yeah, he committed to the top, and the top filled in, and as you could see from there, it was not much other real estate for him to go to, so.
It seems like the 51 is not happy with the 19, expressing his displeasure over the driver radio. Which I don't really think LaPrade did anything wrong. He was just being aggressive. Maybe a little bit too aggressive for this early, but I don't think he really did anything wrong.
Yeah, it seemed like he put himself in a very precarious situation there. No way to avoid that, but it did look like the driver on the top, don't quite remember who it was, did not leave enough space there, but again, we know how difficult this track is, so it really is hard to pinpoint that.
But now everyone coming down pit road after that 10-lap run.
Jeff Wright.
Jeff Wright. Did he take 2 tires?
He did. Had a 10-second stop, so that would be the indication.
Corey, I'm going to say this now. That's not going to work out. How bad tire wear is, that is not going to work out.
Oh, I wish you were younger and you would understand a reference from a show called Home Improvement, but you wouldn't, so I can't say it.
Still, give us the reference. Because someone will probably get it.
Yeah, I think Michael DeGroat in chat will probably get it. Tim the Toolman Taylor. He had his, he was kind of the crazy one with the ideas that never worked, always got himself in trouble. But he had his sidekick, Al. And his sidekick always said, "I don't think so, Tim." Every time he had a bad idea. And every time you say that, that's what I think of, is you're just like, "I don't think so, Tim."
I don't think so, Jeff.
You shouldn't do that. I don't think so. Anybody in chat gets that, then I'll be surprised, but you should. Anyways. So Evan, we've seen 24 laps. I'm not even going to say 24 laps of racing, but we've had 24 laps technically put on the board here. So what was your kind of initial thought to what we saw for racing?
I thought it was really good racing, which I kind of expected that coming in. I know Rockingham is a really fun track to race at. It usually produces pretty good racing. We saw a lot of side-by-side 3 wide that didn't really work out. I think there's a little bit 3 wide further back in the pack that did work out, though. So really, really exciting racing it looked like.
Yeah, to be honest, I was surprised too at how much 2x2 there was going on, especially as difficult as this track is. I personally expected it to settle out, which I'm assuming it will, and we will get some single file racing in, but I was very impressed that they were able to race as hard as they were for as long as they did.
Yeah, previous times I've ran here, it's pretty much usually single file, and you can't pass unless someone misses the bottom or gets up into the wall, but we saw a lot of passing here so far.
So in one quick sentence, Evan, how's this restart going to end?
It's going to be chaotic, because I think the 5 is going to get a little bit of wheel spin, because usually, I know even in the Xfinity cars, you get a lot of wheel spin on these restarts, and these Cup cars have an extra 100 or 200 horsepower. And on a little bit older tires, this is going to be interesting.
But we will hope for the best. Hopefully Jeff Wright is prepared for what he's going to have to deal with those tough side tires at the level they are. So pace car is in the pit road. We wait for him to get on the loud pedal. He is. You can see a little bit of wheel spin, but does get up to speed pretty well. Green flag in the air.
Yeah, Jeff, Jeff really did a nice job on that restart. He got a little bit of wheel spin, but he did a pretty nice job for being on those 2 tires. But now Bronson Stafford is getting a run out of 2 down the back straightaway. And just look at the speed difference down into 3 and 4. Bronson Stafford ran a little bit higher. I don't know if he really wanted to, or if he just, with how much slower that 5 was into 3.
Yeah, if you nail the bumps, you'll be able to run the bottom line. But if you miss the bumps, they will really shoot you up the track. I wonder if that is what happened. But 61 can't play around too long. We know how fast that 19 machine is, so you can never count out the 24.
See, now going into turn number 3, the 61, it looks like his 4 tires are definitely a lot better than the 2 tires on that number 5 machine, but it's not as much of a speed difference as I thought there would be.
Yeah, on these initial laps from the restart, Jeff Wright only within a 1/100th rather of the 61, and actually faster than a couple of the drivers in the top 5 there. So actually not too shabby thus far, at least early in the race.
And that was his best lap of the race. It's actually both of those drivers' best laps of the race, but now we have a battle for second. Brian LaPrade trying to get by this number 61, and now Thomas Bressi trying to get by LaPrade.
Yeah, Stafford is not really in very much control of his vehicle right now. He is actually driving more erratically than the 5 car, which is completely opposite of what we thought. But here comes a dive by Ryan Hartz to the inside of Thomas Bressi. Bressi washed up the track, left a lane open, but he will use the outside to his advantage and prevail and keep the spot.
And Jeff Ryan is actually pulling away from these guys. I really did not expect it to work out like that, but he is doing a really nice job holding on to that lead and actually improving it.
I think we actually owe a little apology to Mr. Jeff right there.
Yeah, Jeff, I'm sorry for doubting you. It actually worked out pretty well so far, at least.
Yeah, so far being the key word. We do know how things can change over the course of a run, depending how long this run indeed goes. But we have kind of singled out for the moment. Does look like Hartz is still trying to take a look under Thomas Bressi here. Has a quarter panel. Did have a quarter panel on the back straightaway, but fell behind and runs a little bit lower in 3 and 4, but just can't do anything with it.
Saw some smoke down the back straightaway. Looks like Justin Munsell went around. Looks like him and Glenn Bowen had some contact out of turn 2, and Munsell went for a slide. Should
be able to catch it on replay here. They go a little bit further back. You can see he is to the outside of Bowen. Bowen just drifted up a little bit too high, got into the left rear of the 22, and it was just a slow looping spin, and he corrected it into the right and into the outside wall there, and probably some near terminal damage for Justin Munsell.
So Jeff Wright has an 0.8 of a second lead. I did not expect that. He is doing an amazing job on those 2 tires.
So I guess we've learned that if you've stayed out on tires that are only about 10 laps old, you can take 2 and get away with it. This could come into play later in the race, so this is something that these drivers are going to have to take note of.
It looks like a lot of these drivers were fighting a tight condition, so taking those 2 right side tires may have actually helped free that car up just a little bit to get it to turn that center better, and that could be helping the speed actually.
Yeah, we just have to wonder, is there going to be a fall off, or is there going to be a drop off where he's eventually just, you know how sometimes it works, Evan, you can get away for a couple laps and do okay, but eventually sometimes those tires kind of hit a cliff and just drop off the edge.
But I fear that would have happened by now. We're 10 laps into the run, or a little over 10 laps into the run. I fear that would have happened by now.
So we have just taken lap number 36, so we are under 100 laps to go. This race is starting to tick away, and Briar LaPrade, the 19, the pole sitter, losing some spots here. Just lost a spot to Ryan Hartz, and now Bressi is lining him up.
Yeah, LaPrade got a little bit too high down into 1 and 2, drifted up the track, and that allowed Hartz to get by. Now Hartz all over that 61 for the second position. And who is that? Is that Shane Terrian? Had a huge wiggle out of turn 4. Managed to hold on to and didn't lose too much time.
Yeah, Terrian just outside the top 5, running in
Terrian.
6. Terrian. We've been saying that for over 2 years. We just got corrected, so we will do our best to untrain and retrain our minds appropriately. But again, the battle, as you said, is for second. It looks like Hartz is a lot better on the tire conservation game. Started in the back and is working his way up, trying to get the second spot.
He's got a really good run out of 2, almost contact there down the back straightaway. Hart's looking underneath that 61 down into turn 3. 61 running way up the racetrack. Should allow the 3 to get by out of turn 4. Not quite going to clear. Almost contact there out of 4. Now down the front stretch, still side by side.
We'll see what happens in 1 and 2 here. If the outside is able to maintain the momentum and hold the bottom down and slow down Hartz off of 2. Slide job there, cuts the nose off, clears for the spot, does Ryan Hartz.
I'm going to say this now. Hartz is going to catch the leader. I think Hartz saved his tires a little better than everyone else. He's already starting to pull away from Stafford, and I think he's going to catch up to that number 5.
So we'll see here in a lap. We'll bring up the PTR TV battle tracker and see indeed who is running what times and what the gap is. We'll just kind
Hart's passed someone and he ran 3/10 quicker.
Well,
that's all I'm going to say.
All right, well, we'll bring the battle tracker up. The gap is now a little over 1/2 of a second. We'll see what the lap difference is as they take the start finish, a 23.98 to a 23.72. So about 1/4 of a second in the favor of Ryan Hart. So yeah, Jeff Wright's lead is seemingly going to be short-lived.
Yeah, down to just under 1/2 of a second now.
Stafford, ooh, caution. Casey Shue slow off of corner number 4. So we'll go back on
Looks
replay.
like Shue got up into Robert Kenny down into turn 3, and that sent Kenny around. And then looks like Brandon Krutz had nowhere to go and got into the back bumper of that number 4.
Yeah, it did look like that. The Ford took a look to the inside of Kenny, and like I said, he just did not hit the bumps right, and that just washed him up the track, and Krutz with a little bit of contact there, and obviously Shue, the worst end of the stick, getting spun there, but I think that's pretty minimal damage from everyone involved.
One thing we did not talk about was the stage. Looked like it was getting ready to end there, I think about lap 45, so this will be the stage caution.
Yeah, very good call, Evan. Totally forgot about it myself, but that will...
So Jeff Wright, gonna get him a stage win.
There he goes, and those will carry over into the playoffs, which will be about mid-summer time, I do believe, that will start. And you know how valuable stage points and playoff points end up being, so everyone matters. So congrats for the number 5 on that. But I do expect 4 tires in fuel from everyone this time by, and this will put the 5 on even playing field, so we'll see what he can do compared to everybody else.
Let's see who will win the battle off of pit road. Looks like Jeff Wright will come out first, and then Ryan Hart in second, Bradley Pratt in third.
Alright, so as we are about 45 laps in the race, do want to give a quick shout out to our camera specialist. Didn't get to do it in pre-race, TrackCams 4 Gourmets. You can check Estevan's workout, trackcams22.com. Fortunately, we do not have his cameras for this track, but hopefully it is a work in progress. I mean, I know I definitely, from my end of it doing the broadcast, I miss having all the extra good views to give you guys, but most of the views on the channel are from him, so again, give him a shout out. As well as our Patreon. You can check us out at patreon.com/PTRTV. A couple levels of donation tiers there with some varying awards, so if you want to help out the channel and help our broadcast quality improve to higher levels of striving for us to reach the levels of the higher channels on iRacing, and a little bit more help. So again, check that out, patreon.com/PTRTV. But we are under caution now, 45 laps in, and of course this is only race number 2 for the Hardline Midwest PowerSource Cup Series, their 2018 campaign. So obviously after only 1 week of racing, we will have Shane Taryn, who won. Tarian, I will get it. He's not even bothered by it, but we will get it. We will get it. Shane Tarian is your points leader, but due to how the stages work, there's actually a 3-way tie after last week's race. Josh Adams, Robert Kenny, and Tarian all sharing the top honors in the standings right now.
And Bronson Stafford only 2 points out of that top 4.
And Josh Adams was signed up for the race, but did not take...
He had to do a start and park.
Oh, so he...
Not quite sure why, but he did a start and park by his own choice.
So he will take 18th place points in today's race, so obviously that will bump him down, but still early in the season. Plenty of time for him to recuperate and gain better spots in the standings. And Robert Kenny, the other driver we just mentioned, is currently in the 10th position right now, so We'll see where these guys shake out. Still plenty of racing here today, but the 5 machine will be the control car on the inside. Ryan Hartz will be on the outside in the 2nd spot, and then LaPrade and Bresci equal road number 2. So take it away, Evan.
Coming through turns number 3 and 4 now is the field. Getting ready for the pace car to pull down onto pit road as it's coming out of turn number 4 now. And there goes down onto pit road now, waiting for Jeff Wright, and there he goes. We're back underway. Ryan Hartz had major wheel spin there. That's going to allow the 19 of LaPrade to clear for the lead, or for 2nd position.
Yeah, LaPrade to 2nd, but Jeff Wright with about a 1/4 second lead there, right out of the shotgun. So they come on down the back straightaway, and Hartz is gaining that momentum back, trying to take another look to Brian LaPrade's back bumper, seeing if he can regain that 2nd spot before the 5 pulls too far ahead.
Yeah, Hartz was definitely a lot better in that 15-lap run. And now we'll see if here on the short run, if he can get by that number 19. He looks quite a bit quicker than him for the moment.
But we saw what was Hartz's advantage last time. It was saving the tires and getting them on the long run. So does he really want to push it this hard this earlier? Perhaps he's just that much faster out of, like, overall.
He did have the fastest lap time in practice, but was not able to get a good lap in qualifying. So we know he has a fast car. But it looks like both of them are kind of starting to reel back in Jeff Wright.
Wright is out by about a 1/4 second. Bronson Stafford, he is trying to gain a spot right now on Tyler Hensley. That's for 7th. It's Hensley, you can see the damage to the left front of that number 46 machine. To the inside is the 61 off corner number 2. Trying to get a little bit of a look. Nothing doing that time by. Brandon Krutz, the 93, just behind that.
Still Jeff Wright holding about a 1/4 second lead. And it looks like he's about 200 slower than LaPrade, so not too much slower. We'll see if he can hold on to this.
Yeah, it does look like right now they are pretty even at the top of the timesheet, so the gap is still holding about 3/4 second to about 4/10. Lap number 52 on the board right now. Still nothing has changed in the top 5. Closest battle on the track is actually Kenny and Shu. That is for the 10th spot right now, the 4 and the 10 respectively.
And these two drivers brought out the last caution, so I don't know if there'll be any hard feelings between the two.
Up at the top of the track, kind of on the higher line is Shu Baby, trying to go for the up and under crossover on corner exit, but he will not be able to keep that momentum and get the car down in time. Glenn Bowen in the 12th position. You can see the left front damage to him. Simon Thorne's right behind him in the 13th position, and Justin Munsell, remember that heavy damage he had after that incident with, I believe it was Bowen, in the 14th position. You could see kind of running more of a modified than a cup car, but
we got Stafford and Hensley running side by side. Now Hensley in the wall loses 2 spots to Stafford and Krutz. So Stafford back up into the 7th position now.
Up front, it looks like everyone has kind of closed in a little bit on each other, but no eminent passes really, at least at the moment. Big wiggle from LaPrade, big wiggle from Hartz there off corner number 2. They will spread out just a little bit as Taryn and Bresci are also... You're going to do that all race, aren't you?
Yeah, because we need to teach you, Corey, how to say it properly.
We do. Tarian in the 38 and Bresci in the 24 were shaping up for another battle, but Tarian will start to pull away again. Jacob Adams now closing in on the back of Bresci as we have a battle for the lead yet again.
Pratt got a really good run out of turn number 2, now diving underneath that number 5 machine into 3 and 4. Now coming onto the front straightaway now. Looks like Pratt got a little bit loose, but he was able to hold his run on that 5 machine.
Yeah, as we said, it's really hard to really make a pass here anywhere. If you run the bottom, you're gonna get into the bumps. If you're on the top, you're gonna get the bumps, and both of which will throw your lines off. But here comes Hartz, ready to battle on whoever decides to make a move. But top three separated by about 0.3 of a second.
Well, Pratt getting high out of 4. That's going to allow the 3 of Hearts to look underneath him down the front straightaway. Now down into turn number 1, side by side for the second position. Well, Pratt up there in the high lane. Looks like Hearts will clear for second. Well, Pratt's going to try and do a crossover. He's not close enough though.
Yeah, we saw how quick Hearts was once they're about 10 laps passed by on the tires. Really showed the advantage that 3 has in the tire conservation category. You saw off turn number 4, the run he got on right, closed right to the back bumper.
Now out of turn 2, 3 of Hearts with a huge run, looking to the outside, now to the inside of the 5 machine, down into turn number 3. Hearts throwing it down into that corner. Now the 19 of Pratt trying to get by both of these drivers. Hearts is sliding up the track just a little bit, getting loose, and as well as Pratt.
Yeah, he was just, as I said it countless times, I'll say it again, he hit the bumps, got him thrown up the track, got him sideways, had to fall back in line or to make some contact. He chose to avoid the contact. And you can see here, this has pulled the top 6 or 7 drivers all within a grasp of each other.
Yeah, 1.1 second or so gap for the top 6. So now it looks like Jacob Adams may fall back just a little bit, but 3 of Ryan Hart still trying to get by Jeff Wright. And Hart's now looking to the outside through 1 and 2.
And Tarian in the 38 is right there now. He is right behind the Pratt and also has Bresci within a whisker of his back bumper as well. So really none of these top 5 drivers can afford to make a mistake or they will get pounced upon.
Yeah, Tarian and Bresci have kind of left the 8 of Adams now. But we got a battle for the lead once again. 3 of Reinhardt threw it down into turn 1. Now once again trying to get underneath him out of turn number 2. Still cannot get by that 5.
As long as the 5 can run within a lane of the bottom, it seems he is really in a good position to block the bottom off and play that defensive strategy. But another look by the 3.
Now going into turn 1, Hart's going to throw it down in there with Pratt. Now maybe looking to go 3 wide, but it looks like Hart's will clear. Yes, he will. New leader, Hart's.
The 5's not going to go down without a fight. He's going to take the dive into turn number 3, but not able to get the run off of corner number 4. And it's going to allow the 19 to get a run, kind of blocking down the racetrack just a little bit. The 19's going to take a stab at it in turn number 1. Washes up the track, but still side by side.
I think Ryan Hartz is just going to pull away with the lead, but now Brian Pratt should be able to get through to second, side by side down into turn number 3, 5 of Jeff Wright on the outside, LaPrada on the inside through 3 and 4. And Jeff Wright just about into that wall is going to give a little bit of a run to the 19 of LaPrada. Looks like LaPrada will clear for the second position.
And Tarian and Bresci, the battle has heated up for the 4th spot. Bresci took a look, but nothing doing there. But Tarian's going to be all over the back bumper of the 5. You can see him diving in a lot deeper into turn number 3, but he's also getting the run off a corner exit as well.
And now Hartz is just pulling away from the field, already out to a little over a half second of a lead. Is now Tarian once again trying to get by that number 5 of Jeff Wright. Now Thomas Bresci falling back into the clutches of that number 8 machine.
Evan, it just seems so easy to overdrive the car. You think you're in a good rut, you think you're in a good rhythm, but it seems like just one small mistake and your lap is just absolutely totaled.
Yeah, if you just barely overdrive it into a corner and slide up the track, that's going to ruin your lap. So that's why it is so important to get into rhythm at this track.
Almost reminds me of a dirt track in a way where you're kind of running that cushion, and if you just missed it by 3 or 4 inches, it's just going to...
You're upside down.
Well, yeah. At least here we don't have that same erratic of a consequence, but it does feel it.
Yeah, if you miss the bottom line by a few inches, you could maybe lose a tenth or two. If you do that, if you miss the cushion at a dirt track, you could end up upside down.
Remember Bronson Stafford, we were talking about him up front. He is now in the clutches of Hensley and Brandon Krutz as he drops through the field heading in the wrong direction. He is trying to hang on to 7th, but that damaged machine, the 46 of Hensley, still has a little bit of life in it, tries to take that spot away.
Corey, did you ever think you'd say someone's in the clutches of Brandon Krutz?
No, I can't say so, but he's working on it. See a big dive in the center of the corner there from Hensley. Got right to the back bumper, but that cost him the corner exit. Allowed Stafford. Look at Bressie. I'm sorry, look at Hensley.
Hensley with that dive down into turn 1, right to the back bumper of Stafford. Is he going to try it again here through 3 and 4? We will see. No, not quite. He's going to back off a little bit early and try and get that run out of 4 and maybe take another dive through 1 and 2.
Yeah, we'll go on board and see if he does that move again.
Hensley loose out of 4. I don't think he's going to be able to do that dive once again. We'll see. Yes,
he
will. Contact.
I don't think there was quite contact. If not, there was a tiny bit of it, but it's going to allow Krutz to pull, at least take a look to the inside for the moment.
Now Stafford moving up the track through 3 and 4. Hensley is definitely quicker, but he just cannot get by him.
Look at that dive. I mean, there's no way that could be sustained on the tires for that long. I cannot imagine. Krutz,
yeah, loose out of turn number 2. Holds on to it, loses a little bit of time though.
But, you know, the racing adage always goes easy in and hard off, but well, actually that time he killed Stafford. He got a run off both ends of the speedway, but what's he going to do in 1 and 2?
Looks like a battle for the 3rd position. Bressie around, down on the apron.
Will he throw out a caution? Yes,
yes,
it will.
There will be a caution.
Go on replay here, see what we can find out of what happened to the 24.
Looks like he just got loose out of 2.
Yeah, no instigation there whatsoever. Just
he got down on the apron a little bit, it looked like, and that pushed him up the track, and he had to put a little bit more wheel into it.
No harm, no foul, though. He does keep going, although in the 9th position, he does keep going. He actually gain a little bit of those back once they get sorted appropriately, but no damage whatsoever, so he will be still in contention, but we will see some pit stops here.
Yeah, looks like he will be in the 9th position, but now coming down pit road. Brian Hart's holding him down there.
Should be 4 tires and fuel. I cannot imagine. It was about 30 laps that we did run there under green flag, and obviously with the fall off, the difficulty managing these machines, everyone will come to the attention of their crews. There's a couple drivers on the speedway still, but those are drivers that are off of the lead lap, I do believe.
So they should still need 1 more pit stop after this, right, Corey?
Yeah, that'll be, we are on 60 to go, so given our 75% fuel load, I mean, it could be very close if the caution's played right, but I think everyone will pit on the cautions regardless, so
well, Pratt out first ahead of Ryan Hartz. Terrian in 3rd, Jacob Adams in 4th.
Alright, so we will take this opportunity again to step away for a brief commercial break. So we will be back with you after the side-by-side for the restart. So again, stay with us.
Welcome back to PTR TV's coverage of the Rockingham 135. Here, coming through 3 and 4 now, getting ready to come down. Pace car getting ready to come down pit road. And there goes the pace car, and Pratt already on the throttle. Jacob Adams really spinning the tires up there from the 4th position.
Yeah, that's going to allow Krutz to get to the inside of him. That is for the 5th spot, but regardless of that, we have Ryan Hartz to the outside of Shane Terrian. A little bit of a look of 3 wide there is Jeff Wright in the 5. That does fizzle out a little bit, but still the battle will be for 3rd.
Jeff Wright down right on that yellow line. Shane Terrian up there in the 2nd lane will clear for the 3rd position. This is now side by side for 6th. Bronson Stafford on the outside of Brandon Krutz. Coming out of turn 2, pretty even run-wise. Now coming through 3 and 4.
Krutz washed up the track over the bumps there, forced Stafford up the track just a little bit in 3 and 4, but Stafford holds the momentum from the outside groove and will still hang and stay ahead of the 93.
So now it looks like Casey Shue and Thomas Bressie trying to get by Krutz.
Bressie just clears the 46 of Hensley. Bressie will set his sights on Shue, who sets his sights on Krutz rather. Remember, Bressie was the source of that caution with the spin, so he is trying to work himself back to where he was prior.
And there goes Shue taking a dive underneath Krutz for the 7th position, and Bressie trying to follow through as well. Krutz a little bit loose up there on the high side. Now Hensley trying to get by as well. Brandon Krutz getting freight trained up there in the outside lane.
You can see the right front damage that has been accounted for on the number 93.
Side by side for the lead. Briar Pratt up in the outside lane. Ryan Hartz down on the bottom. Hartz will take the lead.
Yeah, this is early in the run for the 3 to be going for the lead. We know what he's like.
Now Pratt taking a dive down into turn 3, getting loose, trying to get underneath that number 3.
Yeah, now that's going to open the door for Terrian in the 38. He's going to look to the inside and see if he can make the pass at 1 and 2. He will fall back into line. The 19 had the ideal line there, but off of corner number 2, Terrian still has a little bit of a look, a little bit of a fender to the inside.
Terrian taking a dive down into 3, but LaPrade will clear, but Terrian get a run once again, and looks like LaPrade will keep the position. Now Jeff Wright taking a dive underneath Terrian down into turn number 1.
Here they come into turn number 1 and 2. Wright will not quite clear. The 5 does hang on just by a whisker. 38 rather, does clear for the position, stays in 3rd. All the while, this is about 0.4 of a second behind Ryan Hartz.
Yeah, and Hartz just pulling away from this field. Actually, Hartz was about 0.2 of a second slower last time by. LaPrade really sideways out of 2 as well as Terrian.
Yeah, the fastest driver on the speedway was LaPrade with a 23:67 last time by. We'll see what it updates to as they cross the stripe. It does look like up front the fastest actually was Jeff Wright. He was the only driver in the 6s last time by.
Got a battle going on for the 7th position. Casey Shue, Thomas Bressie, and Tyler Hensley all right there. Bressie down on the apron through 3 and 4. He should be able to clear Shue. Yes, he will, barely. And now Hensley trying to get by Shue.
Yeah, here they come into turns number 1 and 2. Shue all the way to the top of the speedway. Hensley to the inside of him. Bressie.
Oh, contact. Hensley and Shue into the wall. Hensley's going around as well as Shue. Caution is out.
And Shue is not done wrecking yet.
He went way up the track.
Go on the blimp cam here on replay. You can see how everything originated. Bressie has just cleared the 4 as we are coming through turns number 1 and 2. Tyler Hensley with a look to the inside. Looks kind of like a you came up, I came down kind of thing, and they both just kind of got into each other. Hensley with a slow spin keeps himself going, but Shue went up the track a bit and into the path of the 93.
Yeah, Krutz just barely missed shoe. He had to get into the wall just a little bit to avoid him.
Yeah, so I just think that no other way to call that than a racing incident. You can see here from the 93, just had to pancake the wall just a little bit, getting as high as possible to stay out of that wreck, but did avoid further damage. But here we are, lap number 89, and yeah, another set of stops.
They should be good on fuel from here, we do believe.
I think that would, even with the 75% fuel load, I do think that would be an affirmative statement. So, was that a long enough run, Evan, to maybe require 4 tires, or maybe those 2 tires we saw right took could come back into effect?
I think the 2 tires, they could work, but it looks like I don't see anyone taking it, and LaPrade just barely beating that number 3 machine off of pit road.
Simon Thorne's being registered as the leader now, hasn't formally led a lap.
I believe he was the lucky dog.
Well, he is technically being scored as the leader right now, at least from what my statistics show. But he has yet to pit, but he will pit this time by. Didn't quite get the lap led there, but he a little bit of TV time for the number 57. So it seems, Evan, that we kind of have a couple different approaches to the race. We have the drivers who are better right out of the gate, and then we have the drivers who are a little better as the run kind of plays out. I think we kind of know what those roles are for those drivers. So given that, who are you taking here a little bit early? There you go.
I wanted to be quick to get him before you could. He's shown a lot of speed on the short run and the long run. I think he's going to come out with the victory here tonight. But 45 laps to go. A lot can happen.
Yeah, I'm still putting my money on the 38 machine. He hasn't really been in the lead spot, but he's been right on the cusp of it all night. So I think he will finally have the opportunity to see what he can do with that position. So we'll be starting right behind LaPrade on the inside line here, as we should be getting the one to go this time by.
Looks like Justin Munsell up there getting one of his laps back. Should be back to 1 down now. Now the lights are out on the pace car. Will be coming back to the green.
Yeah, laps are ticking away here. Less than 40 to go, or actually just a hair over 40 to go, if my math could actually be correct. So we will come here.
44 at the green.
Yep, that is the case. Down the back straightaway here at the Rockingham Speedway we come. And the 19 machine, the pole sitter of Briar LaPrade, will be on the inside line. Ryan Hart's on the outside. 2 fastest cars tonight will start on the front row. We await the pace car to pull into pit lane. That it does. And we will wait for the 19 to get on the loud pedal, and he already is. Green flag in the air, but a very good start by the 3 to stay alongside of him.
Yeah, but it looks like the 3 of Hearts backed off. He wants to be down on the inside for turn 1. But now it looks like he's going to take a dive into turn 3. He's taking a look underneath and down the back straightaway, and now into turn 3, diving it down in there.
Yeah, all the way to the bottom. The 19
getting high.
19's not where he wants to be. Jeff Wright.
Right, sideways down on the apron, down the front straightaway.
Thought he was going to loop it. Very good car control there, but that's going to allow Terrian in the 38 to get to the inside of him, take advantage of that mistake that the 5 made, and look who's back up front. Thomas Bressi in the top 5, looking right on the door of this action.
Thomas Bressi spun out like 15 laps ago, and he's in the top 5.
And Jacob Adams, he is one of those short run drivers, can stay with him for the beginning of the race, but he is there, ready for something to happen.
And Hartz is just pulling it away now up to about a half a second gap over Briar LaPrade, who has Jeff Wright trying to get by him, and now Thomas Bressi taking a look underneath Shane Terrian.
Yeah, still hasn't been able to accomplish the pass, but has had a look about 3 or 4 laps consecutively now. See Wright in the 5, trying different approaches to try to get by LaPrade, none of which seemed to be working, but it did allow the 38 to gain even more time directly on the back bumper.
Now Terrian trying to get by that number 5 machine. Jeff Wright got a little bit high for 3 and 4 that allowed Terrian to close the gap. Now Terrian right to the back bumper of that number 5.
As you said, Evan, you kind of predicted it earlier in the race. It really does seem like Rockingham is only being a one groove track tonight. These guys really cannot deviate and try anything else.
And the 38 of Terrian taking a look underneath that 5 down into turn 1. 5 running really high, way up there in about the 3rd lane. That did not work. He's going to lose the spot to Terrian.
Move the 38 into P3, only about 1 second off of the lead. Let's see, does he have anything to close in on the 3? The 3, Ryan Hartz, who has pulled away by about a half of a second over Briar LaPrade.
And now we'll see, can Thomas Bressy get by that number 5 of Jeff Wright? Bressy's getting a run out of turn 2 down in the back stretch. Going down into 3 now. The 5 driving in deep into the corner. We'll see if Bressy can get the run out of 4. Jeff Wright really loose up into the wall. That's going to allow Bressy to take a look underneath and down into turn 1.
With the dive in the inside in turn number 1 is the 24. Washes up the track there just a little bit. That'll give the 5 the opportunity to hang on to the position using the momentum from the outside groove. Here comes Jacob Adams trying to get to the outside of Bressy, but I don't think any merit will be made there.
Ryan Hartz continuing to pull away as this battling is going on.
It does look like things have fizzled out at least a little bit for the time being, so we'll try to quickly run through the field here. Lap number 100. Ryan Hartz led 27 laps, going on 28 is your leader right now. Briar LaPrade in 2nd. Shane Terrian in 3rd. We have Jeff Wright in 4th. Thomas Bressy running in 5th. Jacob Adams in 6th. Bronson Stafford running in 7th. Brandon Krutz in 8th. Robert Kenny in 9th. And last car on the lead lap, Simon Thorns in 10th.
Justin Munsell is running in 11th, Casey Shue in 12th, Glenn Bowen in 13th, Tyler Inslee in 14th, and that is the remainder of the cars that are still out on track.
A couple other drivers that are already done for the day, such as Chuck Sweeting, Randall Falks, Josh Adams, who was a start and park, and Matthew Bell, who mysteriously was stuck on the grid earlier today. So those are 14 drivers on the track right now, with less than 40 laps to go.
And Casey Shue has just taken it behind the wall. He is done.
So that will subtract that down to 13 drivers remaining in the race right now. And now getting a little bit close to that 30 to go mark. They should be good on fuel. So they put about 15 laps ago. Thomas Bressy is still trying to get by Jeff Wright in the 5, has yet to be able to accomplish it, and that has allowed Terrian to pull away from them. So really hard to see if Bressy would be able to compete with the number 38, but as we said, it does not look like anybody is going to have anything for the number 3, and it doesn't look like either that Terrian is closing in on LaPrade.
Glenn Bowen has gone behind the wall. He is done. Is now Thomas Bressy taking another look underneath that 5 of Jeff Wright, now out of turn number 2. Side by side down the backstretch, both drivers lose. Jacob Adams now looking underneath the 5 as well.
Trying to go 2 for 1 there, actually negative 2 for 1 as the 5 is attempting to hang on to that position, not lose 2 spots in 1 lap. He will get into the wall there off turn number 4, kick up some sparks, but will keep the momentum up and stay ahead of Jacob Adams, but he did lose a spot to Bressy.
And now Jacob Adams looking underneath Jeff Wright, but Wright will get the run out of turn number 2 on the outside lane and clear him once again.
Up front, we still have Hartz up front by about 0.6 of a second. I do want to check the battle tracker between 2nd and 3rd now, just as a reference. It does show that LaPrade was faster by a couple hundredths. That gap between second and third being about 1 second right now, so does not look like there's going to be a change there, barring any kind of yellow flag throwing the gap off. And indeed, LaPrade by about 1/10.5 faster than Terry in that last lap.
Which LaPrade, he's been a little bit quicker than Hartz these last few laps. It's been kind of going back and forth, but it looks like LaPrade has gotten the gap down to just a little bit under half second, or right at a half second.
Last time by, LaPrade was one single thousandth of a second faster, so obviously that is not going to be minimizing any leads, but we'll see what it is this time by. Off of the corner into the straightaway.
4,000ths this time.
Yeah, so I mean, he is gaining, not at a very rapid rate, but he is gaining nonetheless.
At this rate, it'll take him probably a couple hundred laps to get there.
And Evan, Tyler Hensley, I don't think we mentioned him being out of the race. If we did, but we're down to 11 on track right now. Thought we were at 12.
Hensley, he's sitting on pit road now, so he's not technically out of the race, but he's not out on track.
So we're down to 11 drivers. I feel like that was different than what I said, so I wanted to correct it if it was. 11 drivers currently on track now, lap number 111. Does look like Hartz has kind of turned up the wick just a little bit, back up by about a little over 0.6 of a second, or just thereabouts.
Yeah, he was a full 100th quicker last time, was LaPrade.
The moral of the story is he's not losing time, he's just not necessarily gaining time.
He's gaining it, but not enough to catch Hartz in any quick fashion.
Does look like there may be a battle shaping up still for the 5th position. Jeff Wright and Jacob Adams, closest battle on the track now, entering turn number 1. You can see Adams running about midway up the track, maybe going for the crossover off corner number 2, but that will not happen. Wright will pull him by about 2 car lengths.
Now LaPrade running a little bit over a 10th quicker than Hartz. That's more the pace he needs to run, as Hartz just about got into the wall out of turn number 4.
Yeah, so we'll keep an eye on both battles right now if we can. There's
Jacob Adams looking underneath Jeff Wright for the 5th position. Wright is really getting a pretty good run out of the corners up in that outside lane.
Now Wright is playing the perfect defense that he needs to play, and obviously Adams has not really found a strategy for it other than maybe just wait for a mistake or force a mistake. Ressy's still hanging on about 0.3 of a second off of Shane Terrian in the 38, who has dropped back quite significantly, over 2 seconds off the bumper of LaPrade.
Jacob Adams had a pretty good-sized wiggle out of 2, and he fell back to about 3 or probably about 0.4 off the back bumper of that number 5.
Yeah, so a little bit more breathing room for Wright in the 5. We'll see if he is able to maintain that gap that he has regained there, but now it is less than 20 laps to go in this race that has, it started off a little rocky there with kind of the glitches, if you will, and interesting stuff from drivers not starting and cautions thrown out and what have you, but ever since then it has been a very good race. Summary here tonight of the events. We've had 6 cautions. Doesn't really feel like that much though, but 6 cautions for 24 laps, 7 lead changes. Ryan Hartz has been up front for the majority of the circuits.
And now the gap down under 0.4 of a second. I don't know if he'll be able to catch him before this race is over without Hartz making a mistake.
Go on board with both of these drivers for a lap or 2 and just see how they are approaching this Rockingham Speedway right now. See if we can determine any differences as Hartz gets the stripe. Maxes about 172 miles an hour, down to about 119 in the center of the turn. We're 30 laps into this run, folks. This is the longest run they've had consecutively so far. Gets to about 166 down the back straightaway, and again to about 121 through the center of 3 and 4, and there he goes. And let's maybe reference that to LaPrade a little bit, see if there's any discernible differences. Down the back straightaway is the number 19 machine. He doesn't have the straightaway speed. I think he is more maintaining the corner speed. But he held a lot more center of the corner speed indeed than LaPrade, than rather Hartz does. So one's faster down the straightaways, one's faster in the corners. And both of those approaches seem to be equaling out to identical times.
Yeah, one lap's LaPrade will be faster, and the next lap Hartz will be faster.
So again, as these laps tick away, if LaPrade is going to have any shot whatsoever, he's going to have to find something, or just 3 is going to have to start botching his lines, or ultimately we're going to have a yellow flag. But going to have a yellow flag, really the only place it could happen other than a self-spin is this battle for 5th, which is still heating up as Jacob Adams has closed again to the bumper of the 5, taking another stab at that 5th position.
See, I don't think LaPrade will be able to catch up to Hartz.
I don't think that's going to be the case, and I also am not quite sure if the 8 is going to be able to get by the 5 machine. He's been trying for laps upon laps and just has not been able to get anywhere with it. So, but we will indeed keep an eye on that. It does look like there may be another potential battle on the track between Kenny and Krutz. That is for 8th and 9th, separated by about 0.4 of a second. Last time by Krutz was faster by about a 10th over Kenny, so maybe that battle will not fizzle out after all. But I'll tell you, LaPrade gained about a 10th last time by. Now the gap is just a hair under 0.4.
Just don't know if it will be enough without Hartz making a mistake like we've talked about.
I mean, he can make a mistake, but he's going to get to the point. If he can maybe get to even within 0.2, where, I mean, we don't like to say dive bomb range, because, I mean, we don't want to see races ending like that, but it is a possibility. But especially if he gets that close, he could get that 3 mirror driving, and you can't really afford to mirror drive at a track like this, where you really need to be laser focused on your line.
Tyrion was a little bit quicker than both of those drivers, but he's not going to have enough time to catch up.
Yeah, he's well out of the
about
picture
2 seconds
right now.
back.
Ryan Hartz in the number 3 machine. We've seen him quite a bit here on PTR TV in varying leagues. He's always been a driver that known to run in the top 5, known to be contending for wins. I think we've interviewed him once in Victory Lane, so he is 8 laps away from doing that yet again here on PTR TV, Midwest PowerSource Cup Series, Rockingham on 135. But Briar LaPrade is not going to let this one go without a fight. Takes a bigger stab at it now within 0.3 of a second.
Let's see, he may get there with round 2 to go. We will see if he keeps this pace up. He should get there with about 2 to go. We will see.
But he's got to get there and he's got to pass, and we know how difficult those tasks are to do together. You have to really, first off, you have to get there, then you have to plan the strategy out. You have to figure out where you're better, where he's slower, all that stuff you have to figure out on the fly here, and time is ticking away, and it does look like Hartz has stabilized the lead again.
Yeah, we'll see as they count to 5 laps to go now out of turn number 4. Down the front straightaway now, Ryan Hartz taking 5 to go.
It does look like the 19 is much better through turns 3 and 4, getting much better runs down the front straightaway, but Hartz is hanging on in 1 and 2, and that's really not helping. If anything, he actually gains time off turn number 2, so it's really kind of equaling out.
See some lap traffic up in front of Simon Thorns. He got into the wall a little bit. Will that affect LaPrade? Maybe a little bit, but don't think it's enough to lose much time.
Yeah, compromise his corner entry into 1. Just a little bit caution, and that will end the race.
We are past the cutoff lap.
Jacob Adams.
Jacob Adams.
Did I not say if we had a caution, it would probably be between him and the 5? I don't. We'll see what the exact cause of it was, but I did say
right. Looks like he just got in the wall out of 4 and hit Adams in the right rear.
Oh, the 5 into the wall and just bounced into the track and hit the 8. And yeah, I didn't want to be right, but I mean it is kind of nice knowing that it was.
And you know who else is gonna be right?
I'm gonna take it being you because you're the only one here.
Because I picked Hearts to win this race.
Woo!
Go me.
We should really keep a tab on that, shouldn't we?
Yes, we should.
I think they actually do that in the real world. They kind of keep a little running tab of how many times they actually predict the winner. So we'll start.
Yeah, we should do that.
Yeah, we should do that. We also should do is congratulate the job that the number 3 machine did. If he can stay out front for 2 more laps, he'll have led 63 of the circuits here tonight, which was just a hair under the halfway. So dominating performance by the 3. LaPrade started on the pole, was not able to stay up there all race, just didn't have enough, although he was getting there maybe in about 15 more laps, but still a very good job for him. And Tarian in the 38, not quite the back-to-back wins, but still a solid performance to start his 2018 campaign. So we will here on the channel try to expedite the post-race show and skip the commercials. We'll get you guys right to the post-race interviews and get these guys ready while they are fresh out of the ride. So, but we still have one more pace lap to make that happen. This is the white flag lap, albeit under pacing conditions at about 50 miles an hour. Brian Hart's in the number 3 NOS Chevy SS, soon to be Camaro. Comes off of turn number 2, has been up front for over half of the race. Showed he had the car on the long runs, but when he needed to get it going on the short runs, he was also able to do that. Able to pass the number 19 and pull away and then hang on there during what could have been a little bit of a fight to the finish, but the yellow flag did interrupt that to the benefit of Ryan Hart, so he will have to come through turns number 3 and 4 for the final time here tonight. Checkered flag is in the flagman's hand, and it is waving for the number 3 machine. Ryan Hartz is the winner in the Rockingham 135s, presented by Krutz Custom Graphics.
Briar LaPrade will come home in second, and Shane Tarian in third.
And a victory crash by the number 3 machine there on the front straightaway. That's a new way to do it. So we will, again, congratulate the number 3 on his efforts here tonight, and we will get right to the post-race show here tonight. Here on PTR TV, kind of cut the commercial break out for you guys, so let's start. We have everybody here, which I do believe we at least have third.
We have third, so we can start now.
We can.
So, Shane, you come home with a third place finish here tonight at Rockingham. What are your thoughts after this race?
I'm beat. This track is tough with the Cup cars. I didn't like that, but yeah, I'm pretty tired after that one. It was frustrating at the beginning. iRacing glitched all out. I don't know what that was about, but I feel good with the third place. I don't know if I got the points lead anymore. I probably don't, but I feel pretty good after a track that is by far my worst track out of ovals.
So coming into this race, what you said so far doesn't sound like you had very high hopes coming into this race, but you came in with the points lead. And did you have much of a strategy coming into this race?
Not really, no. I just wanted to finish. I needed a good finish. I'm glad this track is like the second race this season, not when I need points if I needed them. So I just wanted a points day, easy top 10. So I came home with a third. So I'll take it. It's well above what I wanted.
Did you think this race was gonna be a lot of green flag racing, or do you think there was gonna be some cautions?
I knew there was gonna be cautions. I also knew there was gonna be at least one long run, and it happened to be at the end, which I was hoping wouldn't. I was hoping we'd have a caution with at least 15 to go, but because I actually was able to find something there. I was even with Ryan and Breyer at one point and catching them. So if I would have done a caution, I may have had something, but it didn't end that way. So
yeah, you started to run them down there at the end. Is there one you would like to thank or give a shout out to?
Yeah, I'm gonna give a shout out to you guys again every week. You do a great job. I'm sure it's frustrating at the beginning of the race, but also give a shout out to Cody, my team, Robbins Racing with Jake and Josh, and then my sponsor Evil Controllers, iBuy Power, and I got Navy on the side as well.
All right, well, once again, congrats on your third place finish, and thanks for talking with us.
Thank you.
All right, and as we await for
here we got Hearts.
Oh, there we go. We do have the winner, so we will grab him in and see if we eventually get second place in afterwards. So let's bring him on in. Ryan Hart's tonight's victor. All right, Ryan, it was a very strong effort for you tonight here at Rockingham. You led the majority of the race, about 60 some odd laps, but you had the 19 closing in on you at the end there. So what were your thoughts there as he was closing in on you?
I knew if I kept it under or over 3/10, I think I was going to be good. Around 10 laps to go. If I had a good gap, I don't think I was going to have any problems with the win. But what a great race car. Got to thank Matthew Bell for all the support he's given me. Working our butts off to get victories, and his win at Homestead and last season in the Contender Series really gave us a lot of momentum into this season, and it's been a long time coming for me. Definitely, I've been so close so many times in the Contender Series, and to finally get one in the Cup car, it means a lot. It really does.
And what was your mindset heading to Rockingham? Obviously a track on the real Cup Series schedule over 10 years ago, but we have it on iRacing, not used overly too much, but what was your mindset coming in here? How much practice or confidence did you have entering tonight's race?
Yeah, I saw that Rockingham was on the schedule, and I think a few weeks ago iRacing did official races at Rockingham, and I did a lot of B-class races, A-class races, and I did pretty good in that. I mean, I won a lot of races, and for some reason this track just fits my driving style. I knew if I could just get to the front in this race, I think I'll be unstoppable. But like I said, this track just fits my driving style. Turn 3 and 4 for some reason is any different than any other racetrack there is, and for some reason I could just reel that corner and pull on Breyer, and that's what really mattered in that race.
It most certainly did, Ryan. You did an excellent job. You're really starting to prevail here, get these wins in the various series we cover you in, so I want to congratulate you on that. Who do you want to give your shout-outs to?
Definitely you guys for making the broadcast, and again, Matthew Bell. I can't thank him enough. He's given me so much support this season, and we're just trying to get victories. And got to thank Cody for putting on this week.
All right, 10-4, brother. Congrats on the win, and hopefully we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, guys.
Now, a little bit out of order tonight, but we do have LaPrade has just entered, so we will talk to him, the second place finisher.
So, Breyer, you come home with a second place finish here tonight at Rockingham. What are your thoughts after this race?
Yeah, I apologize for a little delay there. My TeamSpeak wasn't loading, but oh yeah, that was a fun race. The car was a little tight for some reason. I didn't expect that coming into Rockingham. I was thinking, hey, really loose and slick race, but just the beginning, that was weird beginning of the race. But just it was a fun race overall. I had fun racing Ryan Hart's there. We had a little incident Wednesday night, and I feel like it was my fault. I mean, I just got underneath him going in the pit road and just messed him up there. We could have had another battle Wednesday night, but yeah, tonight, same thing happened. I just couldn't catch him quick enough. I was just inching centimeter by, well, that doesn't make sense. But yeah, just getting closer and closer and just couldn't close the deal there with that caution.
If it stayed green, do you think you would have been able to catch up to Hearts?
I don't know, honestly. I feel like I would have been really close there, but I wouldn't have gave him the bump or anything after what happened Wednesday night. I felt bad after that, so I got the respect, I think. So it was a fun race, though.
Also, if that caution would have come out 3 or 4 laps sooner, do you think you would have maybe been standing in victory lane?
Yeah, I feel like I would have went in, took 2 tires. Hopefully I would have been the only one and got out front. But, oh well, anything happens. Just whatever happens, happens.
Alright, well, is there anyone you would like to thank or give a shout out to?
Yeah, first time ever doing this, but thanks to the sponsors for sponsoring Hardline there. And then Here for the Memes group, of course. Got Cole Baguni out there in Bristol. He couldn't make tonight, so I was the only DBAP car out there. But yeah, just the Here for the Memes group. Dylan, Travis, Trevor, ADF, Gunther, all of them. They know who they are.
Alright, well, once again, congrats on your 2nd place finish, and thanks for talking with us.
Yep, send it. Here for the Memes.
Alright, so that is your top 3 finishers. Again, a little out of order. Apologies for that. We wanted to get this done for you as quick as we can, so let's wrap up coverage tonight with the final rundown here from Rockingham. With the victory was Ryan Hartz leading 63 laps, Brian LaPrade with the 2nd, Shane Terrian with the 3rd, then Thomas Bressie and Bronson Stafford your top 5, and then rounding out the top 10, Jacob Adams, Robert Kenny, Brandon Krutz, Jeff Wright, and Simon Thorns.
And then rounding the field, Justin Munsell finished in 11th, Casey Shue in 12th, Glenn Bowen in 13th, Taylor Hensley in 14th, Randall Falks in 15th, and then Chuck Sweeting, Cody Tabor, Joshua Adams rounded the field in 18th, and then Matthew Bell, who did not start.
So that is the finishers here tonight from Rockingham. I want to give a quick shout out to our channel sponsors, Air Movement and Fabrications, longtime partner with the channel. Want to thank them for everything they do, all the sponsorship they've provided. Krutz Custom Graphics. Brandon Krutz, obviously a company owner of that, also obviously helps us here with PTR TV. Check out his work on high quality paint schemes and designs, even in the real world, so check him out. Also, I want to thank Jason Allison from iBog, iRacing Broadcast, Overlay Graphics, helps us all the time with overlays, and he can help you out as well. Check him out, ibog.co for his website. TrackCams for Gourmets. Check out Estevan's work, facebook.com/TrackCams, or his official website, trackcams22.com, for all the amazing camera angles he provides for all the disciplines of iRacing. You can check out that indeed. Patreon.com/PTRTV if you're interested in helping our channel out and helping our quality shine to the next level. You can check us out there. Every dollar does go to the channel and is greatly appreciated. That's another broadcast here on PTR TV. We brought you the Hardline Midwest Power Source Cup Series. It was the Rockingham 135. Congrats to Ryan Hartz on his dominating victory. Check us out here on PTR TV. Like and subscribe if you haven't done so. We have the Racer's Mind, our podcast on Monday nights, the Integrity Racing League, ASRS, Rivalry Racing, and Hardline. A busy time for PTR TV. Don't want to miss any of the action. Signing out of the booth is Corey Silva and Evan Black. Have a great night, and we will catch you next time.
Have a good night. We'll catch you next time.